I may have been raised on the Nintendo Entertainment System as home consoles go, but I went to school at the arcade, and also the bowling alley, and the pizza place. And look, arcade cabinets just used to be places, okay? And it was great. These days I'll play just about any cabinet I can, because who the hell knows when I'll get the chance again, but back in the day, these were the games I'd cross the whole room and wait in line to play. I'm the Game OverThinker, and these are my top 10 favorite arcade games of all time. Number 10, Mad Dog McCree. Yes, light gun laserdisc games are super cheesy and the gameplay is shallow as all hell, but I love a good target shooter, and Mad Dog McCree, in my opinion, did the best job of delivering what felt like genuine B-Western feel. If the acting and production had been better, it wouldn't have been as much surreal fun, but if it had been worse, it just would have been sad. McCree hits the just right sweet spot for this kind of thing, and at the time, the sheer novelty of an interactive movie really did feel like a big deal. Number 9, Donkey Kong. What can I say about Donkey Kong that hasn't already been said? An entire epic of gaming was still pretty much living in begins right here with Mario, Pauline, and the Great Big Monkey. Shigeru Miyamoto had never made a game, and his only real instruction was to build something saleable out of leftover architecture from Radar Scope, and what he created changed video games and indeed the world forever. It's not my favorite Mario game, but after all these years, Donkey Kong remains a near-perfect arcade experience. Number 8, Revolution X. Let's be clear, an arcade shooter about a real-life rock band leading a revolution against a fascist takeover of the government is a dopey idea. Doing it with freaking Aerosmith, who, taking nothing away from being legitimately one of the all-time great boomer rock acts, are nobody's idea of the soundtrack of a revolution kind of band, is so much the dopier that it becomes kind of genius. Whenever I come across a Rev X machine in the wild, I just have to play it, if for no other reason than to remind myself that this thing exists, and that it's a pretty damn great rail shooter that, yes, does actually make very good use of some classic Aerosmith tracks. Number 7, Double Dragon. I love everything about Double Dragon, from the urban dystopia setting to the fact that the urban dystopia setting eventually segues into an underground lair where a street gang has a temple for some reason. Double Dragon was the first arcade game I remember that felt vaguely seedy and dangerous, with punching and kicking and wailing on dudes with baseball bats instead of jumping around and shooting bloopy lasers. The first time a Bobo smashes through that first wall is one of the great moments in pseudo-cinematic staging, and fighting over Marion at the end is... okay, yeah, there's really no excusing that, but it's definitely different. Number 6, Cosmo Gang. Cosmo Gang was a physical light gun game with elaborately animated puppets that's basically a big-scale mechanized riff on Galaga, and it was just adorable enough to be addicting. It was a bigger hit in Japan than it was in the States, where it spawned a handful of more conventional spin-offs for consoles, and because of its size and complexity of maintenance, you don't see a lot of them in the wild these days, but if you do, give it a play for me. A lot of happy memories with this wacky contraption. Number 5, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the arcade game. That for a short while, the only Ninja Turtles game anyone had heard of on the NES was just a little too hard to be fun and didn't really feel like the series was a bummer at the time. The Turtles were just so perfectly suited to a video game, it just felt like a loss. So like a lot of kids my age, the first time I saw this sucker up close and personal, it was like a prayer had been answered personally. No water level, no impossible jumps, just pick your favorite turtle and smash the crap after wave of the Foot Clan. And they even had the right music, sort of. Yeah, I know it's not the best TMNT game. Hell, it's not even the best version of itself, but playing this always takes me right back to the days when I first played it and all the memories, long-lost places, and good friends associated with it. I'll love it forever. Number 4, Crazy Taxi. Crazy Taxi is a work of art, a simple concept, beautifully executed, endlessly fun to play, and gloriously representative of the cultural moment that birthed it. It's addicting, it gets your blood going, and once you get the basic concept down, you just gotta play the hell out of it. I mean, who would have ever thought that there'd be such a thing as the perfect marriage of an Offspring song and, well, anything? You ever actually been driving and had All I Want come on over your playlist? Admit it, you have to remind yourself to not start driving like you're an invincible caddy. Number 3, Beast Busters, my all-time favorite rail shooter. It has such a great aesthetic, at once super gross yet bizarrely colorful in that Mars Attacks Garbage Pail Kids kind of way. Blue zombies, crazy dogs, monster owls, big goopy monsters, mad science stuff. Awesome. The fact is, most arcade games are repetitive, a single set of mechanics repeated over and over with increasing difficulty, so the enticement to continue is often based on how interesting you can make everything look and feel, and Beast Busters does it better than almost anything else in its genre by making you always want to know what weird-ass creepy nonsense it's gonna throw at you next. Number 2, Galaga. The best shoot-'em-up of its kind, period, the end. Everything that came before wasn't quite precise enough, everything that came later packed in too many gimmicks. Galaga is perfect. It's simple yet complex, its limited graphics make great atmospheric use of the space setting, the variety of anime ships is really impressive given the era, and goddamn if stealing back a captured ship and then blasting the crap out of the fleet with double lasers isn't one of the most satisfying feelings in the entire video game canon. Number 1. The Simpsons, the arcade game. Here's the thing about The Simpsons. It was originally aimed at an adult audience, or at least not exclusively at the kid audience it ended up also attracting in unprecedented numbers, and for whom it was probably one of the first examples of grown-up targeted storytelling they connected with. What's wild about The Simpsons arcade game, other than being genuinely fun to play multiplayer beat-em-up, was that it feels reverse-engineered in the opposite direction, taking the tropes, characters, and settings from the show and reconfiguring them into a more conventional good guy versus bad guy cartoon setup. Fighting Mr. Burns in a giant robot suit isn't really something you'd want to see The Simpsons do on the show outside of maybe a Halloween episode, but in a game, it was the definition of awesome. It's just so fun to play, and if you can get a full group of 4 together to do the whole family and execute the team-up moves, it just doesn't get any better than that, folks. And that's why The Simpsons is my favorite arcade game of all time. And that's the list. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Tell us about it in the comments and suggest other lists you might like to see. Remember to like, subscribe, share with all your friends, and please consider donating to the Movie Bob Patreon to support this and other series like it. Hey gang, here's a question that keeps coming up. If your handle is Movie Bob, where are your movie reviews? Well, my old reviews are in a lot of places. You'll find many of them on my YouTube channel, but you'll find the brand new ones on Geek.com, an awesome site that's also your one-stop news source for science, TV, gaming, technology, nerd culture, the works. You can find all my reviews directly by going to geek.com/author/bchipman, because that's my real name, and you can get regular updates on all my reviews and all of Geek.com's other great content by signing up for their kick-ass newsletter at subscribe.geek.com. And don't forget to also subscribe to the Geek.com YouTube channel, where you'll find the videos that accompany my reviews and tons of other great content too. Remember, that's Geek.com, the Geek.com newsletter, and Geek.com on YouTube. Make sure you don't miss out on all the latest Movie Bob reviews. You can also check out my own new website, Movie Bob Central, where you'll find my blog, links to all my work, and shop for my books, ebooks, and future Movie Bob products. And please remember to like these videos, share them with all of your friends, and subscribe to this channel. Thank you for watching another Movie Bob production.